Hello, good evening. It's 10 p.m. in Banjul, and from our studios on NDI Road, this is the news first, the top stories. Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr., founder and president of the Rainbow Push Coalition, USA, writes a letter of appreciation to His Excellency, the President of the Republic of the Gambia, Sheikh Professor Alhaji Dr. Yahya A. J.J. Jammeh Babili Mansa, on pardoning 85 prisoners during the holy month of Ramadan. Ghana's new ambassador to the Gambia begins her tour of duties after presenting her letters of credence to the Vice President, Her Excellency and Minister of Women's Affairs. In what was a lively debate at the National Assembly chambers, deputies approved the new Electoral Commission bill. Western powers and their Iranian counterparts make last-minute efforts to finally agree on Iran's controversial nuclear program. Plus, China's increasingly emerging investors venture into major investment once considered alien to the communist country. Well, these and other stories coming ahead in the next 30 minutes. I am Fatu Janimbai. Welcome back. Welcome to the news. Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr., founder and president of the Rainbow Push Coalition USA, has written a letter of appreciation to His Excellency, the President of the Republic of the Gambia, Sheikh Professor Alhaji Dr. Yahya A. J.J. Jammeh Babili Mansa, on pardoning 85 prisoners during the month of Ramadan, and the letter reads, Dear President Jammeh, I want to express my heartfelt appreciation of your moral courage and humanitarian gesture in pardoning 85 prisoners during the holy month of Ramadan. Your great gesture is in the spirit of Islam, a religion that preaches and promotes tolerance, forgiveness, reconciliation, rehabilitation, etc. Your action has changed the lives of 80 individuals and their extended families and friends. I am sure that these individuals are very appreciative for being given a second chance to rehabilitate and thus become very productive citizens of their respective societies in the Gambia. I appealed to them to seize this opportunity and take a more positive approach to life and contribute to save humanity. I once again thank you, and may Allah continue to bless and guide you as you continue to lead the Gambia. Keep hope alive. Sincerely, Reverend Jesse L. Jackson Sr., founder and president. The President, His Excellency Sheikh Professor Alhaji Dr. Yahya A. J.J. Jammeh Babili Mansa, has presented 6,400 bags of sugar to all the regions of the country, the Armed and Security Services, as well as the Gambia Supreme Islamic Council. This is a part of his customary largesse to the Muslim community in the holy month of Ramadan, in which sugar is a highly prized commodity. Mamadou Jallo attended a presentation ceremony at State House, and he filed this report.
The customary presentation of sugar by the President to the Muslim community across the country was held at the State House grounds, at the ceremony attended by the Vice President and Minister of Women's Affairs, Her Excellency Ajia Dr. Aissata Njie Sedi, Cabinet Ministers, National Assembly members, governors, chiefs, and APRC party mobilizers. A total of 6,400 bags of sugar were distributed amongst the regions, with the Kanifing Municipality, West Coast, and North Bank regions each getting 999 bags. The Lower River, Central River, and Upper River regions each received 555 bags, while the Banjul City Council got 388 bags. In addition, the Gambia Armed Forces received 700 bags, Interior got 500, whilst the Gambia Supreme Islamic Council and the National Assembly received 111 and 139 bags, respectively. Later, various speakers took turns to salute the President for yet another extraordinary show of generosity and compassion in this holy month of Ramadan. Alhaji Demba Sanyan, the Paramount Chief, alongside Salif Pui, Governor of the Lower River Region, both thanked the President on behalf of their people. For the Paramount Chief, this gesture is evidence of the President's high respect for his compatriots who have manifestly shown their love and support for his development undertakings. Governor Poe assured the president that the sugar will be divided accordingly. The mayor of the Kanifi municipality, Yankuba Koli, who also doubles as the national mobilizer of the APRC on behalf of the party structure, thanked Professor Jammeh for yet another distribution of sugar. For the Lord Mayor, the timing is irrelevant, as he was without any doubt that the president would solely give out sugar to the Muslim community. The Minister of Basic and Secondary Education, Fadul Lamin Faye, urged Gambians to continue to pray for the president as his generosity continues to surpass expectations. Honorable Fatou Mbaye, the Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, said such generosity by the president will surely reduce the burden on women who struggle daily to keep their families together. He equally prayed for God's blessings on the president so that he could achieve his objectives. The Vice President and Minister of Women's Affairs, Her Excellency Ajay Dr. Aisha Njai Sedi, said Professor Jammeh has on numerous occasions shown compassion to the people, citing the annual distribution of sugar and other commodities to the masses, as well as the unprecedented pardon of 85 people from prison in this holy month of Ramadan. She urged other people who have the means to emulate the president and help their fellow Muslims. This year's distribution of sugar has long been anticipated by the Muslim community, but the president attributed the timing to Allah, who decrees everything. His wish, the president said, was to give it on the first or second day of Ramadan, but was constrained by a shortage of sugar in town. The demand for sugar often rises during this period, but the president was determined to fulfill his customary generosity to the Muslim community. Professor Jammeh also spoke of the steps his government took to ensure a reliable and affordable supply of meat in the market by setting up the Gambia Livestock Marketing Agency to regulate and issue licenses to dealers and butchers. Unfortunately, the president said Gilmer did not live up to expectations, thus forcing him to shuffle the agency to ensure that it fulfilled its mandate. However, the conflict in Mali has also affected the supply of cattle in the market, a situation that is compounded by the unwarranted increase in the price of local cattle. President Jammeh, however, thanked those businessmen who heeded his calls to normalize the price of commodities and vowed to do everything possible to safeguard the interests of Gambians. He finally assured the people of the West Coast and Lower River regions that they will also get their consignment of fertilizer this week. Mo Rijalo, GRTS News.
The new Ghanaian ambassador to the Gambia, Her Excellency Madam Irina Kamahan, promised to step up what she called existing brotherly ties between her country and the Gambia. The Ghanaian top diplomat made these remarks as she presents her letters of credence to the Vice Presidency. The Ghanaian diplomat was accompanied to the Vice President's office by Foreign Affairs Minister Honorable Nene Magdal-Gay. We have details of that report by Asian Silver.
Newest and first ever female Ghanaian ambassador to the Gambia, Her Excellency Madam Irene Mahan, Tuesday drove to State House to present her credentials. The Ghanaian diplomat was given a colorful reception on arrival by Republican guards of the State Guards Battalion, who gave her a befitting guard of honor. After receiving that VIP treatment, Ambassador Mahan walked the red carpet to the Vice Presidency, where she presented her official documents and had brief discussions with Madam Njai Sedi. The new Ghanaian rep was pleased with the hospitality accorded to her, which she said would persuade her to frequent the country.
Gambia is a beautiful country with very friendly people, and as you know, we have many Ghanaians here. So it is in our interest to have an ambassador. And I will be visiting Gambia again very much in the near future.
Her Excellency Mahan paid glowing tribute to the Gambian government for providing her compatriots a home away from home, while describing ties between both countries as cordial.
They are very good, they are very friendly. We do a lot together in the fields of education, among others. We work together.
Though new in her job, the Ghanaian envoy promised to further step up existing ties between her country and the Gambia.
We intend to enhance the already existing cordial and bilateral relations between Gambia and Ghana. Ambassador
Mahan, who replaces Abdullah Yakubu, is not only accredited to the Gambia, but Senegal, Cape Verde, and Mauritania. Etienne Silva, GRTS News.
The National Assembly on Monday conceded and approved the new Electoral Commission bill of $500,000 fee for registration of political parties and presidential candidates. The new bill tabled before the country's lawmakers prompted lively debates in the House on the relevance of the bill. Samuel will watch the proceedings and he felt in this report.
The Elections Amendment Bill 2015 was Tuesday laid before the country's lawmakers by the Secretary General and Head of the Civil Service and Minister responsible for Presidential Affairs, Lamin Nyabali. The new Electoral Commission's bill forms part of efforts by government to ensure that political parties are more highly organized and run by serious people through the provision of minimum standards for registration and operations.
This bill seeks to amend the provisions of the Election Act, which has been a cause of concern for the Independent Electoral Commission in the conduct of public elections in the Gambia, and by extension vest the powers of granting permits for political processions and rallies in the Commission, both during and outside of elections campaign periods.
Under the new amendments bill, anyone or party wishing to register or contest for presidency will have to pay a fee of $500,000. The bill also outlines that political parties hold congresses every 2 years and also submit their financial reports to the Election House.
Section 43(1) of the Principal Act is also amended in A. In paragraph A, by substituting for the word $10,000 the word $500,000 for presidential elections. In paragraph B, by substituting for the word $5,000 the word $50,000 for National Assembly elections. C, in paragraph C, by substituting for the word $2,500 to be replaced by the word $50,000 for mayoral elections. And D, in paragraph D, by substituting for the word $1,250 to be replaced by $10,000 for council elections.
The majority leader and member for Serekunda is seconded the motion, describing the proposed amendments as a well-thought move in ensuring that sober-minded candidates vie for key public positions.
Key among the things of their concerns is the $1 million issue that you must deposit. Honorable Speaker, we should not be subjective in what we do, and we must not be egocentric in looking at issues. In our sister country in Senegal, you deposit 65 million CFA, which is over $5.8 million. Others will argue that yes, political parties are given some monies. But when you are to deposit 5.8 and you are given 3 million, where do you get the 2.8 million? And you see, if you want to create political parties, individual political parties, you will find it difficult to fund it.
The new bill attracted a lot of support from members of the ruling party.
Is that those who are talking right now from the other end have never sat in an inter-party dialogue. I have always been privileged to be representing this party, myself and the national mobilizer and the majority leader. And 80% of these amendments is coming from the opposition. How can we look at it in the interest of everybody? It goes through all the processes. And then it comes up as an amendment. We start to withdraw and say, no, it's not good enough.
Gambian people, your noise has made an impact. Even today, when I was coming, I was reading 1 million. But surprisingly, when I arrived here, I have seen that the number had changed. I have realized that the noise of Gambian people has made an impact. That's why they are making noise. I encourage you to make more noise. They have done what they can do. The ball is in our court. And we are going to make it possible for this bill to be rejected, to go and be reviewed, to suit the demands of the Gambian people.
You can notice that the majority of the opposition consists of independent candidates. Not only one of them is from a political party. I think this bill seeks to avoid that. I mean, people should have direction, people should have an idea. So politics should not be about Mr. Samba Diallo against Mr. Neti Balde. It's his idea against my idea. And his idea should be supported by a group of people of similar ideas, and I should be supported by a group of people with similar ideas. It should not be me against him. And that is what this bill seeks to do. It's encouraging democracy, but democracy is not cheap.
This particular bill in question is not from APRC, it's not from any other political party, but it's from the Independent Electoral Commission. That is responsible for current elections in all levels. And what IEC seems to do, the most important part of this bill is no party leadership should reside outside the country. Because if you are a party, if you are leading a party and you are residing outside the country, do we know your plans, your aspirations, your intentions when you take up the country? Whether you want to take the country to ransom.
Across the political divide, members decry the move, saying it could create a difficult environment for parties to operate, coupled with the fact that average incomes of Gambians are low.
Earlier on, we don't receive any bill of 500,000. We receive a bill of $1 million. How many Gambians can afford $1 million to contest elections? They are trying to compare it with Senegal. But our economic-wise, Senegal is far better than us. And for Senegal, you pay 65 million CFA, which is equivalent to $130,000, but you gain 5%. Only 5% of the voter registered. You get your deposit. For their MP, you pay 40 million, which is $30,000. But when you get one seat in Parliament, you are refunded.
If we are elected here today by our people to represent them, to advocate for them, and such bills comes to the table in front of us, I think we should be careful. We should be very careful in passing those bills. As the Honorable Member of Dankungu has said, we all know our problems here. And we know this Parliament, the reason why we've been controlled is because of the Section 191D of the Constitution of the Gambia.
The groundswell of opinions in favor of the new amendments bill finally paved way for its approval by the country's lawmakers. Samuel Ba, GRTS.
The Upper River Region Education Directorate, under the auspices of Director Claudiana Cole, recently rewarded teachers and schools that stood out in the promotion of quality teaching and learning outcomes in the region. The 5th annual award ceremony was designed to motivate teachers, heads of schools and stakeholders, as well as create a competition among schools in the regions for improved quality in education. Winifred Nicole Hadibat reports.
Outstanding in the promotion of quality teaching and learning outcomes in the Upper River region in the year 2015. where Saturday recognized Regional Director Claudiana Cole. The pioneer of the lofty ideals designed to bring out the internationally designed education-related MDGs in the region. Mrs. Cole, who took over the Basse Education Office in 2007, had to wait till 2010 to initiate the Teachers' Regional Awards ceremony. So what must have prompted this?
After having gone around the schools, visiting schools, monitoring what was being done by way of teaching and learning, I realized that standards needed to be improved. Standards were not what I thought they should be. And I would say I was most of the time, or all the time, very disappointed when I go to meetings and they give reports, and most of the time the report was Region 6 is lacking behind, and I thought that was not good enough. Something had to be done to improve standards in the region, to motivate teachers to work hard. And that was why I came up with this idea. And I thought if I motivated my teachers, if I recognized them, if I encouraged them, they would work harder, they would do better, they would be more committed and dedicated to the work that they're supposed to do.
Is annual awards ceremony therefore paying dividend?
It has had an impact because standards are improving, the schools are now doing better, and the students are also performing very well. So I thank God.
This was how the awardees were identified.
I go around schools, I make school visits, I monitor schools, and I'm able to see the schools that are really doing well, and I commend them there and then. I am able to see the schools where there are gaps, and I encourage them, I advise, and they're all improving. Honestly, the schools in Region 6 have improved.
Among the many decorated schools, Nafugang Lower Basic stood out as the most improved school. The Education Deputy Permanent Secretary, Ibrahima Sisoho, who traveled hundreds of kilometers to grace the occasion, urged the awardees to take up the milestones as a challenge they should match at all times.
We endorse this ceremony because it is a good ceremony. It has started in Region 6. I'm happy to say it has started in Region 6. We would encourage other regions to emulate this exercise. Maybe we would still give Director Region 6 copyright for the initiative, but we want to spread it to other regions because it's a good exercise.
The Basse-based GRTS radio, the governors, and the United Nations FAO country offices, as well as the Basse Paradise FM radio, where other institutions and stakeholders merited for their unflinching support in the attainment of quality education in the region.
This activity is worth observing for the fact that it does not only reward and praise our days, but also provide a forum for critical reflection and constructive exchanges on good practices for better improvement in the sector domains. In a nutshell, this initiative is viewed as a regional strategy directed at consolidating basic education at the grassroots.
The regional awards ceremony, if nurtured, have what it takes to enable teachers leave their posts in schools better than they found them, as always desired by Director Cole. Reporting for GRTS News, I am Winifred Nicole Hodibat.
Well, time now to take our first break, a look at the international scene when we return, then go away. An historical deal on Iran's nuclear program. In the last hour or so, the EU officials say negotiators need more time to sort out the remaining obstacles. Both sides seem eager to broker a deal, but neither is willing to barge for a quick settlement. CNN is following developments from the Iranian capital, and this is your report.
we hear that we always have to keep in mind is that on all sides there are always domestic politics, and that certainly is the case here in Iran, where on the one hand you have very moderates who want a deal, who want closer ties with the West, but there's also a lot of hardliners who are very skeptical of these negotiations and quite frankly don't want to give an inch, especially to the United States. And I want to point that out to you by showing you this. This is a moderate newspaper here from Tehran, and right on the front page, of course, the negotiations are what is the main issue. However, if we look at the more conservative newspaper, which is this one, there's absolutely no mention of the negotiations.
Our nation has bitter memories of the United States in the past 36 years following our revolution. But the nuclear negotiations are a historic opportunity with the U.S. If the United States acts wisely and logically in these negotiations, then we can say that America has left a positive impression with the Iranian nation. So if the moves and actions of the United States are constructive, it can leave a positive impact of the U.S., which can lead to further engagement and interaction.
Including the fight against terrorism, the fight against ISIS. Do you see further cooperation there?
As the policy of the United States is of a double standard, there is a need for serious confidence building in that respect. We are helping the Iraqi government fight against terrorism upon the request of that government. However, there are no links and no cooperation with the United States in the fight against ISIS.
Well, investors have lost lots of money in the Chinese markets in recent times. There is a new generation of capitalists learning a classic lesson about risk, but CNN's Ivan Watson met a young investor who remains optimistic despite his losses.
Instead of heading to the pool or the beach, 17-year-old Li Bohao hits a coffee shop where he gets to work immediately on the day's stocks. He says he first started investing in financial markets when he was only 15.
Where did you get the money to invest? Did your parents give you the money?
Yeah. I borrowed from my parents.
A lot of money or just a little to begin with?
Just a little, maybe just 3,000 US dollar.
To start with?
Yeah.
But that's a lot of money when you're 15 years old.
Incredibly, Li claims he doubled his parents' money in just one day by buying crude oil and silver futures.
Do you think that you got lucky that day?
Yeah,
you got lucky.
Li has been buying and selling stocks ever since. But lately, his luck may be running out. Over the last 3 weeks, China's once booming stock markets have tumbled more than 20%. At one point, this high school senior says he lost 140,000 RMB, around $22,000. Of course, this teenager isn't the only stressed-out person riding the stock market roller coaster in China these days.
Here's something Chairman Mao probably wouldn't approve of. China now has some 90 million stock trading accounts. There are currently around 88 million card-carrying members of the Communist Party. That means there are officially now more capitalists than communists in China.
Most traders, analysts say, are so-called retail investors, people like housewives, students, and taxi drivers attracted to a stock market that had been growing at a rate of 120% this year. The recent free fall has left many here hurting.
I've lost around $16,000. I thought I would make money, but I didn't, because of bad luck or lack of knowledge. I haven't taught my husband yet how much I lost.
Teenage stock trader Li Bohao insists he's more sophisticated than many other Chinese investors.
Did you see the problems in Greece?
Yeah.
As a way to make more money?
Yeah.
He says he made some $2,000 over the last week, playing currency markets and selling off euros. In this volatile global market, one Greek's loss turned out to be this Chinese teenager's gain. Ivan Watson, CNN, Beijing.
Well, from that report by CNN's Ivan Watson, we now shift our attention to some sports news. The new executive committee overseeing the revitalization of karate in the Gambia is hopeful of taking the sports to new heights. Karate had enjoyed a meteoric rise in the past decade until recent administrative bickerings forced the sport into a serious decline. Abubakar Senghor tells us more on that.
Back in 2008, karate was one of the more thriving sports in the country, a pastime with huge following, particularly among young people. Even young Fatou Bintou, then a 6-year-old member of Bai Taekwondo block from Kaolack, had her maiden display at an open-air demonstration organized by the Gambia Karate Association. She was the star attraction on the day, and she left a huge impression on the crowd that watched her display some instinctive skills. Fast forward to today, and there is genuine feeling that all was not well with the sport. To redress these persistent issues dogging the Karate Association, an interim committee was instituted to revitalize the sport.
We are not here to fight. Past issues are past, bygones are bygones. Today, we think about the future, and that's it. So on that note, I will tell Ibrahim Asala to take the lead, step by step, go through the Constitution as a family, and then from there, we will adopt it and then take the necessary steps.
Recently, the committee's reign came to an end after the election of a new executive council that is expected to retract the development of this hugely popular pastime. It is a promising period for the sport and for young members like Fatou Bintou. The focus will be on making the grades and as well enjoy a pastime that is still very popular in the country. For GRTS Sport, this is Babukar Senghor.
And from sports by Babukar Senghor, a quick reminder of our top stories. Reverend Jesse Jackson, Sr., founder and president of the Rainbow Push Coalition USA, has written a letter of appreciation to His Excellency, the President of the Republic of the Gambia, Sheikh Professor Al-Haji Dr. Yahya A. J.J. Jammeh Babili Mansa, on pardoning 85 prisoners during the holy month of Ramadan. Ghana's new ambassador to the Gambia has begun her tour of duties after presenting her letters of credence to the Vice President, Her Excellency, and Minister of Women's Affairs. In what was a lively debate at the National Assembly chambers, deputies have approved the new Electoral Commission bill. Western powers and their Iranian counterparts are making last-minute efforts to finally agree on Iran's controversial nuclear program. Plus, China's increasingly emerging investors are venturing into major investment once considered alien to the communist country. Well, that was all in this edition of the News at 10. Thanks for the pleasure of your company. Ramadan Mubarak and good night.